We just text. Uh, Let me see. This guy. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second, ET. Wait, no. I don't even got you muted. I thought I hit you because your mic going green, but I can't see you talking for some reason, and I can hear you. Uh, Let me see. Let me put my phone on do not disturb. That'll be better. Uh, I can't. So I can hear you power drive, but mute you. I can't really hear you, and I got you cut up higher than power drive. By the way, I got you cut to max. I can't hear you for some reason. What's is you like super stereo or something? Like what's wrong, bro? Mike, is it me? Uh, Saber, can you hear me? Like, Saber, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay. Yeah. So I can hear you, and I can talk to you. So what's up? Why the hell I can't? So can you? Is something wrong with me too, Mike, or is it me? Is he talking or not talking? Can you hear my mic now? Wait, try now. Okay, fine. We can run text to VC. Let's base every dumb niches right now. Cause bro, then just get off APO or something, or just unplug your mic and plug it back, or just go and go to disable your mic. Go to your not go to your device thing, and then disable your mic driver, and then re-enable it, and it should work then. If And stop trying to use APL all the time, nigga. Y'all be trying to y'all gotta learn how to fucking close it out, bro. Like close it, bro. Y'all be wondering why y'all mics and shit be getting broken all the time. Why y'all can't keep a mic for 5 days, bro. Oh, and you know what? It's fine. Now now mute you. I'm gonna tell you my position, okay? Cause you got a phone or something you can get on. You don't got no phone or nothing. Oh my god. Alright, get Saber and VC and tell Saber to come and judge, bro. I don't even think Saber want to come and judge. I don't even think Saber want to judge this. Unless you finna get a judge, I couldn't get a judge if you can't get a judge, because you can't even but you can't even debate with your mic though. But to be like, you can't even argue as good as you can in VC. Like, I got a whole advantage against you, bro. So that's why you got your ego. Okay, sure. And then you got a power here. I don't even know where you got a power bot. Power can't screen record, bro. I don't even know where you have a power bot here. Power can't screen record, bro. Nigga, look at this SCD. You mean SCP debate? It didn't come back to me. We can ask Tron or any high tier. Demar, you did not. Yes, I did. I beat Sable on Islam twice. Any reliable judge said he lost. Even Collector who was there said he lost, bro. And then Sable started crying about it. And then Sable tried to debate Collector, bro. I was sitting right there teaching Collector how to debate, and Collector was slamming him. Why actively getting teach by me? Saber is not that good, boy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He just not. Don't change it. Okay. You said what's that? What's that? Nigga? I don't know. It can be an emoji or anything. I haven't debated a couple of times. I don't. I haven't. I haven't really. If I'm pretty sure if you probably give me like 1 minute, if you probably give me like 1 minute to warm up, bro, and give me like one debate in, I'll probably know it then. But I haven't been debating at all. I'm rusty right now. Yeah, 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 yeah. What you mean, nigga? I'm old and I'm rusty, nigga. What are you talking about? I'm still about to slam you though, cause I'm still about to slam you though. Anyways, Joan VC, Joan VC. By the way, the judge said I beat him. Judge VC, bro. All right, so listen, Saber.
Fucking talk.
Listen. How
And
about
then we
this? How
can
about
run a
this?
topic.
Everyone can win. You judge me beating the shit out of you two, and I debate you on any topic you want to debate on. Any topic. It can be any topic, whether I know it or not. But if I don't know the topic, you gotta give me like 5 minutes, bro, to like study the topic. Yes, no, nigga, I'm talking to you. I said,
All right, bet.
I said,
Yeah,
I
wait,
got a
no, shut the
deal
fuck up. I'm naming
where
the topic.
everyone can win. I'm pretty sure you want
Shut
to debate,
the
bro.
fuck up.
And you
So
know I
I'm
want to debate
defining the
me too
topic.
because I want to whoop his ass
Can
on this
this
topic
nigga
because he
shut the
don't know
fuck
what
up
he's
for
talking
one
about.
damn minute, bro? Let
You
me fucking
just
tell him the
be
topic.
beating me too.
No,
I debate
hold
you on any
on.
topic you want to debate on.
We could do
It's
the
a fair
topic.
deal.
I'm giving you the topic real quick. Okay, so we could just do the Trinity again if you want, or we could just do Thomas Aquinas.
Listen, okay, sure. Listen, pal. I mean, I don't know why I'm calling you Saber. If I'm going to debate Christianity, or if I'm going to debate on a Christianity or Islam topic, or Christianity and Islam topic, I want to run both religions side by side. Then we're going to
Yeah,
go
sure.
point
I
to point
don't care.
through
No
it.
fucking
So if
down.
we're going to run some, if we're going to bring in a Tawheed and a Trinity, I'm going to bring in the reliability of the Quran. I'm going to bring in the Hadith. I'm going to bring in Sahih al-Bukhari. I'm going to bring in all those guys who say Aisha was. I'm gonna bring all that in. It's
Okay,
not
hey,
gonna
nigga,
be
yo,
on
I
the
honestly do
title.
not
You're
care
gonna
what you're
bring
gonna use for a fucking truth maker. Like, I curiously do not. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Now I'm gonna
okay,
go to
okay,
the
sure,
room where
okay,
I can
okay,
actually
okay,
be
sure.
able
If
to
that's
debate
fine with
with you.
you, okay, sure. If that's
Shut
fine
the
with you, then we can do
gosh,
that debate.
make a fucking talk every time somebody else talks. Like, no one asked you to talk. Let me fucking talk now. Shut the fuck up. Damn.
What you
All
gonna
you
do if I
fucking
don't?
talk.
What you
Holy
gonna
shit.
do if I don't though? No
Okay,
one ain't laughing
so
at you.
we can,
You really thought you were funny. Anyways, like I said,
yeah.
do you agree
Anyways,
with
I'm gonna fuck. Okay, shut the
that? Do you
fuck up.
agree with that?
We
I'm
can
asking you,
do.
do you
Yeah. Yo, can this nigga fucking stop with the soundboards? Damn.
probably if you stop acting so offended towards everything that a person say,
No,
someone not
nigga,
gonna play
I'm trying to
soundboard.
list
You
the
just like
fucking topic.
raging
You
for no
keep
reason.
fucking talking, bro. Like, I'm not asking you to talk, but I'm trying to give the topic, bro. I'm trying to give you the topic so you can fucking hear me.
I mean, you already
Simple.
gave me the topic, though, and I heard
No,
someone you
I
gave me the
offered that
topic, and
as
then
a
I gave you
topic.
my
So
conditions on the
oh my
topic we
gosh,
wanted to
shut the
do, and then
fuck
you
up so I
got
can show
mad
you
at
what
me.
you mistrack, nigga. Oh my gosh. I offered those as an example of a topic. That is not the same as me offering the topic, which we would do. That's a different fucking thing.
You literally said word for word. First of all, that wasn't even an example. We know it wasn't an example because of the context you apply. This how we know you dumb or either you don't remember what you said. Bro, you sit right here and said word for word. We can just do the Trinity topic again. That came out your own mouth when I asked you. And then
This fucking
before
nigga,
that, by the way, hold on,
bro.
before you try to say it's an example,
Okay, hold
before
on.
that, when I asked
You
you to
want to
give
talk?
your when I asked you to give
You
your
want to
topic
talk?
because I didn't hear you, you said out your own mouth, I already gave my topic. And then you repeated the same exact topic that you yourself said you already gave, and it was the Trinity topic. Now you're trying to sit right here and say it was an
Okay,
example,
hold
even
on.
though even
Yo,
though you
oh my
literally
gosh.
asserted that we could
Fuck.
do the topic. Wow, congratulations. Another dumb nigga who
Okay,
clearly don't
so
understand
nigga,
linguistics.
oh my gosh, bro, holy fucking shit. If you want to go off context, I was listening on topics because you said we could do any topic, right? And I mentioned Christianity, we could run like the Trinity or Thomas Aquinas I offered those topics as a way from the fucking context established, right? I followed the sentence up. If you fucking heard me, I said sure, we can do topics like, for an example. I didn't say example verbatim, but it's definitely implied by those fucking semantics. You just can't track that because you're such a fucking retard. But anyways, sure, if you want to take that as the topic, we can do that. We can do the fucking Trinity versus Tai. I don't care. Now, if you want to start, we can just start with you, or if you want me
Okay,
to
sure.
send it to you.
I could go ahead and beat your ass up on linguistics because you clearly don't understand linguistic nature. And if any linguistic philosopher was here talking to you right now, they'll all call you retarded. But I'm gonna go ahead and debate me too right quick. So niggas, I can finish you then. Over. There we go.
Alright, bro. So who's starting first, me or you, nigga? Also,
Uh,
you said if any linguistics philosopher would hurt me, they would beat my ass. Okay, obviously I said from implication, dumbass. You don't think an
nigga, hold
implication
on,
is
power
implied.
driver. I'm debating you two
You don't
first.
not think an implication
I'm
is
debating me two
actually
first.
present within semantics or conveyance? You don't think that?
Me. I'm. Who's talking?
Stop fucking stuttering, nigga.
Who's talking? I said I'm debating Mewtwo first. Okay, I'm debating Mewtwo first. Can you hear me? Yeah. I'm debating Mewtwo first because it clearly seems like you can't hear no one. Anyways, Mewtwo, you ready? You go ahead, state your position. Hurry up so we can go in this. So I can go ahead and slam this dumb nigga named fucking Saber. Okay, sure. All right. So my position want to be this. Okay, sure. Any. Okay, sure. So any Christian denomination that believe in the core belief of Christianity, such as believe in Jesus rose up from the dead, such as believe in Jesus teaching, such as believe in the Holy Spirit, and believe in the teachings of the Trinity, then they will be considered a denomination of Christianity. I don't believe the definition or the qualification of a true denomination of Christianity exists because in order to be classified as a Christian, you must believe in everything that I list, which is believe in the Trinity, which is believe Jesus risen up for the dead, which is believe in the core Christian teachings of Jesus Christ. And if that's the case, then and if that's the case, and since these rules or these let's just say these priors, right, which is what people call them in our terms, is what makes you a Christian, then every denomination which believe in the core belief would be considered or classified as a Christian. That's my position. Bruh. You see, that's why I hate debating text to VC, bro. Like y'all niggas, bro. Learn how to text faster, bro, or something. I don't know. Of course, your nigga redesigned his position so badly to the point where it's not even the same position. I don't even disagree with that. Nigga, it's the same position. The position that I stated at first with just the vague terminology of the position I'm staying right now. My original position or the original way that I stated was said that I said that every denomination of Christianity would be considered true denomination of Christianity. That's what I said at first. I just applied Now I just apply context to the reason why I stated that claim. That's all I'm doing right now. It's the same fucking claim. One just held more context than the other.
Hey, what's up, Demar? What's up, Mewtwo? What's cracking, my boy?
Yeah, what's up? What's up? I was about to whoop me to you on a point guard. He said he wouldn't even disagree with me. So hey Saber, look, at least you got lucky, bro. I guess I'm gonna debate you now. So I need someone to be a judge. Lunar, anyone can judge.
About
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Since my tracking in English is pretty dog shit, and ain't even fluent on that. I don't think I am. Fair. It's fair to me to be a judge, right? I don't think it's fair to me to be a judge, right?
Okay.
Anyways, yo, Dimar. Since no one's talking with you right now, I'm gonna just say some. Do you remember that time on the DOD that I tested FE and GPA, right? I'm not gonna lie, since I'm a generous person, I'm gonna assume I lost it. I lost it, right? But anyways, I discovered why I lost it.
Okay,
That's because
sure.
they was picking me more.
Hold
I
on. Let
developed
me
a
go ahead. Let me go ahead.
method to make
Oh,
my mind more clear. You know
Lunar, I get it. Let
what's
me go
up?
ahead and reply to this nigga named YouTube because he clearly don't know anything about Christianity teaching. Yes, every
Uh huh.
Christian believes there's one way to Jesus Christ, but it's the implications of that you ignore. When we say there's one way to Jesus, when we say there's one way to heaven or there's one way
Bro,
to get heaven, we say
bro.
that way is through Jesus Christ only, nigga. We never say or never make the claim that there's only one true denomination, nigga. I don't know what you're coming from or what you're talking about. How can you call yourself a Christian but you don't know nothing about Christianity? I don't know. You cannot. Oh, Lunar,
What's up?
we looking at the house right now, so I'm not even around my.
I
Uh, I got a new PC by the way, cause I was lagging at first. But Lunar, can you mute your mic right quick?
you said what?
Can you mute your mic right quick?
Homie, can you type it real quick? I'm not gonna lie, cause I ain't understanding.
I said, can you mute your mic right quick?
Mute your mic, bro. What the hell does
Yeah.
does that mean?
Can you mute your mic?
Ooh, mute, bro. Understood,
Yes.
mute.
Okay. Now, BT. Yes, Christians do believe there's one truth path to get to heaven, but the implications of that is through Jesus Christ. Every Christian follow the core teachings of Jesus Christ, therefore via the classification of what makes something a true denomination of Christianity, they will all be classified as the true denomination. Cultural differences don't matter when it comes to the core belief. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Every denomination don't share the same cultural belief because they all from different locations because their Christianity spreading out, et cetera. But they all still share the same core beliefs, which is what makes them a Christian. A Christian, yes. And by the way, I disagree with Catholics. I disagree with Orthodox. Shit. I forgot the name of it. I gotta go get it right now. But I know it started with a B. How did I forgot the name? I just went to one day church. But yeah, I debate different denominations of Christianity, but I never once said that. I never once said that these guys or our Catholic wasn't a Christian. All of us are Christian. We just don't share the same cultural beliefs as each other, which leads to Christian versus Christian debates. Now, other than Muslims. Now, Power Driver, why don't you come to the front since you want to debate me on Islam versus Christianity? Now, I'm going to bring up a point. I'm going to bring up my position first, and then we're going to start right there. So, I'm gonna bring up a point right quick. So, and the topic and the point going to be which is more reliable, Christianity or Islam? Now, I'm going to bring up a contradictory within your Quran. Here go my problem.
Wait, hold on. Can I ask you a question? Because I think it's just necessary to what you're actually establishing, and more
Sure.
so, yo, turn that fucking shit off, bro. Ain't no one want to hear a fucking loud mic.
I'm not loud,
Anyways,
Mike, and that's the
no, I'm
TV.
talking. Anyways, uh, what I'm saying that like what's necessary to your entailment and conveyance. What do you like think reliable is like logically valid, not contradictory, etc., etc. Like
Now,
X, Y,
okay,
Z.
sure.
Like
So,
what's
within,
wait, hold, I ain't done, I ain't done yet. Hold
okay,
on,
sure.
wait. Like when I'm asking that question, I'm just asking for a proper definition, which can help back up the interpretation of validity because reliable.
Uh, can someone unmute him and let him finish? Even though we didn't need to hear the ending part, of course. By the way, we didn't need to hear why you asked the question. Like we could have just
Anyways,
asked the question.
no,
But okay,
because asking that question would also just be some form of like skepticism, right? And my skepticism, as like per like usually it would
I
probably be
mean, any smart nigga will understand the base of your skepticism. I
yeah,
mean,
any nigga, but like, you could just be ratty as fuck and just ask
I'm
like
not gonna rat. I'm not gonna rat though.
anyways, yeah, just go ahead and answer.
Okay, sure. So within the context of this debate, since we're talking about religion, we're gonna when I say reliable, I'm speaking from the terms of historical reliability and a term known as linguistic reliability, meaning that we're going to be debating on whether or not they're correct and reliable in the categories of linguistic reliability and historical reliability. That's going to be the topic.
Yeah, that doesn't answer my question at all. That's just more so begging the question again. Like, hold on, begging
It's
the
not
question.
begging the question.
Yeah,
You asked
I'll.
me. Hold on,
I'm
hold on, hold on, hold
no,
on,
no,
hold on.
no,
Let me
no, no,
reply
no,
to
no,
it.
no, no, no.
Hold on,
Shut the
hold on,
fuck up.
hold on.
Let me
If you
substantiate.
hold on, if you're gonna state, if you're gonna make a claim,
You mute this
if
nigga
you're gonna
so I can
hold on,
fucking
if you're gonna make a
answer.
claim and put a fallacy on me and say that I did answer your question, you gotta let me reply to that and give you the context on how I did answer your
No,
question.
because I need to
If
fucking
you wanna
substantiate.
put a
I'm making
fallacy
a
on me,
fucking. Oh my fucking gosh! Can someone mute this nigga so I can fucking answer? Like, holy shit. Anyways. What I'm saying, the reason why it's just begging the question is because you're just like identifying what type of fucking reliability it is. That does not give some form of actual definition to what it is. The definition is coextensive with the fucking term, but you're supposed to know me or not know me, let me know what the fucking term means in that deterministic sense, right? So obviously you're gonna have to give that said fucking definition for me to understand what that type of thing is, not what type of variations it is. You're gonna have to help me understand what these things are, rather than let me know that these are different variations of what the said thing is.
okay, sure. Now I'm gonna go and reply to that. Now here go where I'm gonna call you an idiot, and here go where I'm gonna call you dumb because you don't pay attention. Now, first I'm gonna go and tell you how it isn't begging a question. Clearly, you don't understand what the definition of begging a question is, so I'm gonna give you the definition of the begging the question. If you disagree with this definition when I give the definition, let me know. And if you do disagree with the definition after you let me know, I'm then just gonna ask you, would you mind giving a different definition? And we can argue on which is more reliable. I'm just saying if you get to that point, so we won't have to fall under any, you know, drama. So let me go get this right quick. Okay, sure. Here we go right quick. So here go what the definition of begging a question is, because you clearly don't understand what you're doing right here. So begging a question is a logical fallacy where our argument's premise assumes the truth of its conclusions, rather than providing independent evidence for it. That's the context of what begging a question is. In this, in this case, when you ask me a question, when you ask me a question, it's like, uh, what do you mean when you say reliability or things like that? I gave you two different categories for reliability, which obviously via the terminology or the words that I use within the context of stating reliability, tells you analytically of what they mean. If I were to bring up the word historical reliability, you're not going to sit right here and say I'm talking about linguistic reliability. You're not going to sit right here and say I'm talking about logic reliability, or you're not going to sit right here to say I'm talking about reliability in any other format. Because why? Because the name itself explains the definition. In this case, when I say the term historical reliability, within the context of a religious topic, it's very obvious that I'm talking about reliability in the sense of history. When I say linguistic reliability, going by the definition of what linguistic means, which you should know, Power Drive. So you should understand this. You should know that I'm obviously not talking about reliability in historical format. I can't be doing that because I just mentioned historical reliability. I'm obviously not talking about reliability in any other formal way, because the definition of what linguistic means doesn't fit these terms. Meaning that the Marnia can only be talking about what reliability in a form of linguistic literature. What I'm saying is, I did answer your question. You just didn't pay attention, and it wouldn't be begging the question. And it wouldn't be begging the question. What you meant to say was, I'm going circular," meaning that instead of a directly answer your question, I just repeated myself, which I didn't, because when you asked me the first, because when I brought up my first position, I say reliable. When I brought up my second position, I add specification. I add specification on what form of reliability I'm talking about, meaning that I went from a vague sense more to a pacification sense. It would be begging a question if I just would have keep on going within the vague sense. You need to learn your fallacies, sir. And you need to learn how to use your fallacies. You didn't sit right here. And you need to learn how to stop calling out the wrong fallacies, by the way, just to let you know. And if you want the more logical definition of what circular is, it's just saying non sequitur. That's the term you have to call out, but you didn't, because you're an idiot and you don't know what you're doing. Now, now, going back to the original. Now, can we stop meta debating here? Because Now, since I did actually explain it more, at this point on, from now on, you should understand what forms of reliability I'm talking about. I then went more in depth. It either gave you context, it either gave you the terms, it either then explain what these terms mean. There's no way you should sit right here and say you don't understand what form of reliability I'm talking about. If you do, then it's you being retarded. Now that you understand my position, we don't need the meta debate. We can go ahead and move on. I'm gonna go ahead and restate my position, and then I'm gonna mute my mic, and I'm gonna let you state your position, and we can go ahead and move on. My position on this is that I think the Bible is more reliable than the Quran when it comes to the two categories, that being historical reliability and that being linguistical reliability. Now, can you state your position, Saber?
Okay, sure, but before I do that, I'm just gonna respond because you're a total fucking retard. Like, you don't understand shit. Okay, so here's what you did. You made a claim that contradicts your own fucking substance. I'll explain why. The reason why is that you're claiming, oh, I did give this definition, right? But then proceed to or just describe and then prescribe the said fucking definition after already giving me the terms being used. Okay, so let me actually just educate you real quick because you're such a fucking retard, right? So in those terms and what we use to actually fucking like prescribe or just follow logically or deduct what these things are because we use it to actually convey something, right? In that sense, it's tied or just coextensive with the term, as I fucking said. It reflects what it is, or just reflects what the term is going to mean, because that's the essential fucking thing, which decides to give it its, well, applicable nature to what it's being used in, right? Or just the lexicon in turn in general that's being used, right? So I'll explain why this is begging the question, because you said, oh, so I didn't give like circular because obviously these things would be apparent, right? That's just presupposing it's apparent in the fucking first place, and that's presupposing it's actually going to be understood by the person. Because see, it's a conditional for something to actually be known, and it's going to have to tie to the epistemic or the epistemic fucking analyzation at what's being applicable here, right? Because you obviously just gave the definition when explaining the term in itself inside the usage of a lexicon. You applied it externally after using the terms. And again, as I'm already repeating myself, I'm going to substantiate why this is the case, right? Because, first of all, just you saying what a fucking term is does not mean you are defining the term. The term being stated there, right, it's not the same as the definition. As I already said, the reason why for this is because we are prescribing something which inherently gives a structure or actual proper usage of syntax. If it's giving proper usage of syntax, the term in itself does not define itself if something else that's internal is giving the external part or what this said thing is an actual actualization of the syntax, right? So if that's the case, that it only gives the said fucking, actual proper use of syntax, internally speaking, a definition would have to be the utility to grant that. If it is the case that it's the utility, the term in itself does not define itself because A, as you said, historically is another part which grants that said fucking definition of historical, right? But then you sit there and then say reliability. Reliability still needs to be defined. Reliability is not defined. What you mean by reliability is what's going through, forms of actual fucking substance of history, this and that, to grant some form of actual determination of that, right? If it's the case, because of this specific thing, which grants that said definition, you are going in depth to what historical is. You are not saying that it defines itself. You're applying not two different, fucking the definition for this certain thing, so then you can also define what's being conjuncted with it to actually formalize or create a formula to what you mean in conveyance. That's what you mean to properly understand something. You are granting a prescription. That's a prescriptive relationship. Okay? Because you define the specific thing, the term in itself is not going to define itself because you're still using the definition. As you said, historical is, X, Y, fucking Z. I'm pretty sure we all know what that is anyways. But as you said, historical grants that definition. And since we know the definition of historical by what it is, as you said, since you said it's obviously going to give us that case of what it is, then you're not using the term in itself as what you're trying to imply. Per speaking this, right? The term in itself, being defined, right? I'm going to say this just so you can fucking track. It's the fact of the definition in itself. The essentiality, which grants a reflexive meaning to what it is. If the definition, which is the essentiality for the Cambridge attribute of the definition, then it's just going to be the case that you're using something to enact upon something external. So yes, it's just dependency. It's just, oh my gosh, dependency on what that thing is. As I said, you're just referring and then, going to self-referential to what the fucking term is. Because you said, as you said, historical gives us an idea. But that's a clear contradiction if we're using the definition of historical to prescribe what historical is. Because firstly, you need to understand historical in the way to obviously understand what reliability is in that sense. If historical grants that, you need to understand the word first. So the conditional comes at the cost of our understanding rather than the term in itself or historical giving to that, because you're just presupposing someone would know that. You need to first define that in that case and framework to actually know what it is. And because you say historical grants that, you need the definition of historical. The term in itself is distinct from what the semantical implication is, because semantical implication uses the definition. The definition is what grants, or just how we come to understand it, as I already said, previously said before. So historical does not give the ID. The definition of historical does. That's the correct way to put it. That's proper use of syntax because the definition, right? If I were to say cheeseburger tastes bad, despite trying to imply it's good, first I need to understand what bad is, to actually decide that it's incoherent. And if I say it's actually coherent, I wouldn't actually understand it if I were to say, the said fucking thing, what I just said, or just implied. Because the incoherency of the sentence in itself does not actually give me that implication and does not define it for me, because I don't know what that is. I need to understand this in order to claim it's incoherent. If I don't, I'm agreeing with incoherency. That's already analogous to what I'm saying. So historical does not give us the idea. The definition does. The definition of what explains it. And then, properly speaking, the term in itself is not given from what the definition. The term is needed for the definition to actually be applied or be prescriptive in that sense. So it's just coextensive and reflexive of that. That's how we understand that. That's how we understand words. Proper meaning and proper terminology. Right? Now I'm going to go on to your begging the question point. You went circular because all you did was just repeat the variation, and which you said, by the way, you gave me two categories. Categories is not the same as understanding what the word is, now that I made the conceptual distinction between what you just said. Right, retard? Because there needs to be understanding, as I already said, and the fact you're only referring to the types of reliability, and then you said, because, XYZ, not XYZ, the fucking, terminology should give us, what we know, obviously this and that. And simply put it, because I already, or just not even granted, just like debunked what you said, gave a valid reductio, it is not the case that that's proper reasoning and inadequate reasoning to actually grant that conceivable conclusion, retard. That would just be a contradiction to what we know about semantics and linguistics, dumbass. So, because it does not give outright actual adherency to what it is, and it's not self-evident from the terminology, because we need the fucking definitions, because of that same thing. It's just funny, but main point is, all you did was just repeat the varieties after just, saying, so what I mean by this and that, and it's not begging the question because, take example, this just gives us what this is, blah, 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 historical, reliability gives us what historical is, this and that, right? And you even admitted you only gave me two categories. Categories does not define what those things are. Sorry. Categories just distincting something inside different fucking subjects, retard. Anyways, if, let's just like move on to your argumentation point. As you already said, you just need to go circular for fucking, the fallacy in the first place. The argumentation part, you don't, like, you're even given a fucking conditional to the argumentation of what you're about to use anyways. Because you literally pointed out the fact of the usage of the fucking, historical reliability, this and that. You even pointed out, that you are using this as a way to prove your stance. That is what we call a
Bro.
proper conjunctive fucking argumentation using a derived inference or some form of principle to develop a conclusion
Bro.
back from the said fucking, starter,
Ayo,
the
bro.
logical conjunctives, or just in general, the logical fucking prerequisites for the
Ayo, bro.
argumentation,
See, but
right?
finish, please, bro. It's 10 minutes
But,
just talking alone, obviously.
you're giving this as a prerequisite for your argumentation. If that's the case, then
No.
it's literally just an argumentation to be made. You're giving why this would be the case, and under your interpretation, given the reasoning behind it, the substance, this and that. If it's just the reasoning, then it basically is the inference for your argumentation, and then you need to use logical conjunctives for the conclusion, this and that, why it adds up, this and that. Basic conveyance stuff and etc. So in that sense, it's literally just an argumentation. If you're saying this,
Hold on, hold on.
no,
Luna,
I'm
Judge.
not done. I'm not done
What's
yet.
up?
So, anyways, I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
comment
Judge. Do you
point
mind if
about
we
this
do
being a
this on the
fucking
time,
minute,
bro? Like, so
right?
both of them won't take
So,
that
no,
long.
no,
Can we
no,
do
no,
like
no, no,
3
no, no.
minutes?
You're gonna try and drown me because now you don't have
Can
fucking
we
permission
can
to
we
do
do
that
like three
because you're
minutes
such
time
a
each?
retard, by the way.
Bro,
So,
he's
anyways,
bro, he isn't
speaking
trying
Yeah.
to
of,
drown you.
you said
That's
it's a fucking
literally
meta
his
debate, right?
normal
You
I'm
said
mic,
it's
just
bro.
a
I'm
For
right.
real.
I'm
It's
just
not a
trying
meta debate
to
because we're
ask a
not
question.
debating on anything
Luna,
meta that's
Luna,
What's
outside
up?
the
do you
debate.
mind if
We're
What's up?
we
debating
do you
internally.
mind
That's a
can you
conceptual
do you mind if
distinction,
we can
retard.
do
You don't
talking stick
understand that
with
shit
a
because you're a
timer? Do you
retard.
mind if we can do
Now,
3 minutes each?
anyways,
He
now
get
you
three
can go
minutes to
counter my
talk, I get
point.
3 minutes to talk. Starting, do you mind if we can start that timer thing after his point? So after this point, on mine, when it's my turn to argue, we're gonna start the timer. I get 3 minutes now. After that, he get 3 minutes, so we can stop him from dragging it out like how he doing it. Because all he did just repeated the same thing, by the way. And I'm about to beat him up on his argument. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you, Lunar?
Bro, I didn't even track him on what they're saying, to be honest. I'm taking attention on all the bullshit right now.
Do you mind? Can you time? Can we do a
Mm-hmm.
timer?
Alright, no problem.
Okay, sure. So it's my turn. Anyways, I understand his argument. All he did was just repeated it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to his argument. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna go ahead and call him retarded. Now again, use retarded again. Here we go how you are retarded. If you understand the fallacy you calling out, which is circular, aka the logical term for it is called circular reasoning. The definition of circular reasoning is a logical fallacy that assumes the truth of its conclusion and one of its premises, which is not at all what I'm doing. What you're trying to say that I'm doing, bro, is an argument for repetition. The problem is, a argument for repetition isn't a fallacy. Me going circular, repeating it or repeating thing isn't a fallacy. You can sit right here and say it isn't a proper way to state an argument, but that in itself isn't a fallacy. All you're doing is just calling out fallacy that means something else, and then you're trying to fit it to the definition of what you're trying to say it is to apply it within the context of the argument of what I'm doing. Secondly, I didn't commit that argument for repetition, which again isn't a fallacy. You don't understand what you're talking about. I'm sitting right here. I'm sitting right here and exposing you for being an idiot. Again, now, why I didn't do an argument for repetition? Because argument for repetition is repeating the same argument is repeating the same argument. Or if you want to say an argument from, or if you want to say an argument for or repetition for reasoning, it's repeating the same forms of reasoning, which is all what I'm not doing. First, you cannot say that I repeated the same argument because my first argument, my second argument are nowhere near the same argument at all. My second argument was just me applying categorical linguistics so you can better understand what I'm doing. Now, again, here go one for to call you retarded again, and one for to say you are intellectually retarded. The reason why I'm for to say this is because if you actually study what you say you study, then you should know this. And if you actually study linguistics, then you should know what this is. Attentive definitions. Now, what is attentive definitions? Attentive definition is rather than explaining something through abstract definitions, such as what you're trying to tell me to do, you can explain something through context, meaning via the contextual evidence that you apply within your specific argument or a specific statement or sentence, etc. You can come down to you can come down to the conclusion on what a specific term means. Secondly, the second forms of descriptions that I applied, again, you are retarded. You are a retard because you couldn't notice. I mean, you don't notice, but you could have noticed if you would do your study and research like you say you do. But you clearly don't do it because you don't know what you're talking about. Now, for to make you look dumb again. Now, the second term that I'm using is called definition by genius and differential. What is this? Well, this is a logical method. So you should have known this, by the way, because you actually studied classical logic, right, Saber? You clearly did it because you don't know what it is. You're a retard. Now, what is classical logic differential? Well, it's when you instead using abstract definition to describe something, use categorical and distinct differences to describe something, or linguistical difference to describe something, which is what you both literally just agreed that I did. So via what you agreed to, you sit right here and try to give all your arguments, but at the end of your argument, all you did, bro, was just agreed. All you did, bro, all you did, bro, was just agreed that I did define the terms that I was using. I might not have defined it or within a general use sense, such as abstract, abstract definitions. But I still use a method which via the definitions, aka genus and differential, definition, differential and genus, genus and differential, which is a form of classical logic, in hold on, in obfuscative definition, which is just finding a term or finding the reason or finding what something means through context instead of abstract definitions. Via what these two definitions means, you basically have agreed that I did define the terms. So all you did was just prove my point and defeated your own argument. So thank you for that, Saber. Congratulations, you just defeated your own argument. Congratulations. You want a cookie, bro? You want a cookie? Because you're smart. You defeated your own argument, bro. You're smart. Intellect. Keep doing that, bro. Keep helping me out. Now, second point for to bring up. Second point for that I offer to bring up, which is the point that you didn't challenge. Again, like I said, you can meta debate all you want, but us meta debating about points that have nothing to do with the main point, my bad, someone just texted me, but that had nothing to do with the main point, which is us debating between not the Bible, between Christianity and Islam. I don't want to do that. That's why I'm trying to move on. We can simply drop this point and move on for it. We can meta debate on this point all we want, but the more we meta debate, it's simply just going to lead to nothing. It's not going to really give you no victory because it's not going to really give you no victory. All it's going to do is just give us a reliable definition. Or not reliable, or definition of reliability to go based off. That's all you're trying to do. Now, not two. Now, three. The reason why I did actually define the term, bro, is because when I define a term within the general field and use it to contextualization, such as using Christianity versus Islam as an example to put up, or these two set religions going against each other within a form of reason, and then via the two contextualized terms that I brought up, which is historical and linguistics, we obviously via the content that I gave and via the categorical linguistics that I gave, we can obviously conclude that this debate is going to be between which is more truthful within a historical and linguistical sense. Everyone will come to that conclusion if you understand what analytical definitions is, or if you understand what general terminology is, which is what this guy obviously don't understand. And even if you were to try to argue that I didn't use abstract definition, right, the two terms that I brought up, which are also considered a form of description, or to be a prescribed, or to be a form of description, according to what he said, then under that set scenario, it's still going to be applied that I did define these two terms. So whichever way you go, it's still going to draw the conclusion that I won that part of the debate. Therefore, your argument has been defeated. Now, number four, I'm going to again restate my position because you didn't state a position yet. I really don't have to debate you right now. I can literally just ignore everything you say and just keep restating my position because we're not really in a formal dialogue. Trying to have this informal debate, I'm trying to get in a formal dialogue. Now, I'm going to restate my position. I want you to stop trying to be ready and stop trying to be a dog. Because if I were to start doing it back to you, you're not going to like it and you're going to start crying. So stop trying to rat because you know damn well what I mean by when I say historical reliability and linguistical reliability. You're smart enough to use all these big terms you bring it up. You should be smart enough to use your brain to consider in a general sense of what I could be talking about, which any smart person would do. I'm pretty sure if I were to go ask three random people right now, they all want to agree, or they all want to, or they all want to assume that I'm talking about which is more truthful with the retrospect of historical values and linguistical values. But somehow you can't catch that. Now, again, from my position is this: I think I think when it comes to historical value and linguistical value, the Bible is more trustworthy within a retro sense. Now, now again, I gave you my position. Again, I gave you my position. Now, Saber, do you mind giving your position? If you do not give your position and you keep on trying to meta debate, I'm going to consider that as you wasting my time. I don't see us getting nowhere from meta debating. I don't care to meta debate. I don't care to debate on something as formal and as informal as that. I actually gave you the definition of what reliability of what the definition of reliability I'm going based off to, just in case if you were to still try to complain and cry, even though I already defined it value contextualized values, or value contextualized values. Now, do you now? I'm going to mute myself. And when I mute myself, I want you to give your position. If you're going to waste my time, I'm letting you know I'm going to see this recording. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to clip it. I'm going to post the recording on YouTube. I'm going to then block you and not care about what you're saying whatsoever because I just told you right now that I'm not trying to waste time or meta debate you so we can move on. And I told you to stop trying to ret because you just sit right here and complain about ret or I'm going to ret or not. And if I do, you're going to be crying about it. You know you is. So stop doing that. Now, I'm going to mute my mic, state your position, so we can move on into a formal dialogue and actually have a debate. And then we also got to restart the fucking recording because the recording been going on for like an hour of us talking about nothing that have to do with the formal dialogue. You're just wasting time, bro.
Okay, so I'll actually just state my position, but I just only have like a few fucking words, and